I'll just do a basic introduction, welcome, a couple of things.
You will think with yours
That's the problem. I was Pierre. Was it solo commentating? Was the wingman and solo? Happiness, done. That was a good one. This is the easier part. Just work like 5 minutes ago. Niet op jullie lijst. Oh, die van ja, ja.
Okay. Okay. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the home of Brackenfell Rugby Club. After the seconds, just the home side, Brackenfell victorious over the visitors 34-12 as we're getting ready to welcome the first teams on the field. Let's have a look at the team sheets. The home team, number 1 loosehead prop Warren Lehman, followed by hooker Frank McNish and also tight head prop Boeta Loubser. The lock pair is made up of Morne Oberholzer and Hugo Swart, and captain for the day is also the flanker Marcel Roux. His partnering flanker is Raymond Spreet, and then the 8-man Pieter Fritz. As we look at the pair of the 9 and 10, scrum half and fly half, of course, the scrum half for the day Clayton Daniels and the fly half Jandre Grobler. The left winger is Lance Jurgens, centre pair of Dan Aspling, number 12, and the outside centre Arno du Plessis. The right winger is Kwagga van Staden, and the man right at the back, the fullback for the day, Trent Silverstone. And then as we look at the bench for the day, Llewellyn van Blerk, Brendan Beekman, Charles Mangold, Vincent van Dijk, Skalk van der Merwe, Chester Creer, Jandre Kleinhans, and completing the squad is Ruan Hasse. That is the team of Brackenfell, the home team, and the visitors is of course UCT Ikeys. Their loosehead prop is Lutando Waio. Alex Castle is hooker and Keegan Clade is the tight head prop. The lock pair, Matthew Grobler and Reinhard Kraus, and then the flankers is Supumezu Dionase, Jason McLeod, and then 8th man is Tariq Creer. The scrum half for the day is Carl Bowman, as well as the fly half David Hayes. The left winger is Ratabile Low, the centre pair of Alan Victor and Artie Ghazi, and then the right winger Leon Kloosman, as well as the fullback Nkozu Makaza, as we see the visitors taking the field. Of course, this match is being live streamed by Club Rugby Live and made possible by the sponsor for the day, Kia Brackenfell. So thank you very much once again for making it possible for us that are not able to maybe come to the field and watch Club Rugby again. It just makes it a bit easier for us to be able to live stream Club Rugby. We know Club Rugby in the Western Cape is huge. Currently, as we see the home team of Brackenfell and the captain Marcel Roux taking the field, leading his troops out, as he's followed by Warren Lehman, the loosehead prop. Warren Lehman, definitely one of the stalwarts of Brackenfell Rugby Club here today. as we see them taking the field. This promises to be a match of running rugby. The second teams, they laid the tablecloth for these two teams to come out and fire on all cylinders. Brackenfell would want to start off quick and well against UCT. Slight wind blowing from behind the backs of Brackenfell, playing from right to left as I stand. UCT certainly won't call this any wind, knowing what can pop up on the Green Mile, so the wind won't bother them the slightest. Brackenfell getting ready to start this match up for us. Once again, welcome via YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with club rugby in the Western Cape and Boland area, please go and subscribe to Club Rugby Live on the YouTube channel. Also feel free to share the link to everybody that want to share in the joy of watching club rugby once again. So of course the flyer of Jandre Grobler getting ready to start this matchup. High kickoff, making use of the wind, letting it float in the air. Beautifully brought under control as he evades the first tackle of the match. UCT will want to take their time with the set pieces, making sure that they keep ball immediately going up to air. Interesting strategy, knowing that they play against the wind, wild pass being tossed out, making it difficult for themselves and putting themselves under a lot of pressure. And like I said, interesting decision to go up to the boot once again, knowing that they're playing against the wind. Slight breeze from right to left, like I said, from behind the backs of Brackenfell. This of course, the forwards lip-licking stuff. They will have waited the whole week for this. A big battle between Warren Lehman, loose head of Brackenfell, against Keegan Glade, tight head of UCT, as well as Lutando Woi, loose head of UCT, against Boeta Loubser, and then the hookers Alex Castle of UCT and Frank McNish of Brackenfell. Let's see how this one pans out. This is a battle within the wall. Solid scrum, but unfortunately just dropping the shoulder down here on the left hand side on the loose head prop of Warren Lehman being penalised. UCT will feel that they won the first scrum, but Brackenfell, knowing the history of their forward packs, they will not take that lying down. Low kick, trying to gain some valuable meters. As I said, UCT playing against the wind. The wind slightly picking up now, but like I said, this will be nothing for UCT as they regain the position and keep position in that line-out. Passes down, taken up, running hard into contact, breaking the tackles. Bit of sidestep, hard hit from the blind side by flanker Remit Spieth as UCT spreads the ball out wide now, but unfortunately just a knock-on. UCT gaining valuable meters in that set play, and that is something that Brackenfell would want to fix immediately, that missed tackle that cost them valuable position and territory. UCT opting to go for the scrum. They feel that the first scrum that they won the penalty off from Warren Lehman, just losing his grip and falling in. But nonetheless, UCT will feel that they have the upper hand in the scrum. Favourable position for UCT right in the middle of the field, inside the 22 of Brackenfell. Backline split as we see two players on the right hand side, four players as they immediately come down the right hand side, sniping right by the pickup and by the 8th man, then finding the scrum half in Kyle Bowman as they set up another pickup and drive by the forwards. Brackenfell trying to slow the ball down, not committing to the breakdowns, interesting enough. Immediately taken a beautiful offload by the inside centre, Alan Victor, finding his flank forward, setting up another phase. Beautiful defence by Brackenfell, defending their try line with everything they've got. UCT getting quick balls from the rucks. That's something that they would really want to continue, if they want to try and catch this defensive line of Brackenfell off guard. Brackenfell successfully slowing down the ball. Pick up and drive brought down like half a meter from the touch line, from the try line. Beautiful floating pass, but unfortunately not being able to pick it up off the bootlaces. UCT well and truly starting off this matchup between Brackenfell, the hosts here in the northern suburbs. UCT certainly trying to salvage something that the club, in say varsity, has lost. If I quickly cast my eyes on the scoreboard, currently still 0-0 in this matchup. The seconds of Brackenfell victorious over the visitors, 34-12. They're under 20s, slight different story. UCT's under 20s beating Brackenfell's under 20s 57-13. So as it stands for the day, 1-1. This one is the decider. UCT going down the left hand side. Back to the fly half and playmaker for UCT, David Hayes. Now they're putting up the forwards, telling the big heavies to make some valuable yards, get over the advantage line, but big tackles coming in from Brackenfell. And this will be a victory for the team of Brackenfell, being pinned down in their own 22 for the past 5 minutes or so. Throwing everything in it, defending their try line, successfully so, preventing UCT from getting any points in this 5 minutes or so that they have been attacking and setting up some sort of camp in the 22 of the Brackenfell team. But like I said, Brackenfell will see this as a small victory in this battle, not allowing UCT over their try line. But a big scrum from UCT, making it difficult for the scrum of Brackenfell. That's of course Clayton Daniels on the boot of the fly half. Jandre Grobler finding a huge touch finder, as we see the touch assistant referee about 5 or so meters, 6 meters outside of the 22 of Brackenfell. Just a slight relief of them, as we see some of the forwards falling back into the back line of UCT. Let's see if they set this up. We see the 8th man, Tariq Krier, as well as the flanker, Dunase, in the back line, as we see a beautiful sniping break by the fly of David Hayes, as he finds the inside centre, Alan Victor, for the first points for the visitors. UCT taking the scoreline to 5-0. Beautiful break by, like I said, playmaker and flyer of UCT, David Hayes. And if some of these names sound familiar to you, it is a combination of UCT club as well as some of the Varsity Cup players that made their appearance this year in the Varsity Cup. As we know, the Western Province and Western Cape universities certainly performed very well this year in the Varsity Cup. Unfortunately not being able to bring the cup back to Western Province, but nonetheless the teams representing the Western Province in Varsity Cup certainly did us proud. It's just the team of UWC that actually struggled this year, as we see the fly half, Jandre Grobler restarting again, straight down the throat of the right winger, actually the outside centre, Ghazi. Slow ball for UCT, as Bowman puts it, gain opts to go up, huge up and under. Unfortunately, Brackenfell not being able to bring it under control, but still in position. Did very well to retain position there, as we see the flanker Raymond Spreet taking it up. Now Brackenfell, the first time that they have possession of ball, and let's see what they can do on the attack. Unfortunately, no communication as the pass goes astray. Again, picked up by UCT. It is the outside centre, Ghazi, making a nuisance of himself, quick to respond on that loose, wild pass. UCT back in possession of the ball, and Brackenfell will want to clear that up. The loose head problem, Woyu taking it up, straight running by the man, big man. UCT trying to get the ball out wide, doing beautiful by handling the left winger low. Ratabile low, evading some of the tackles coming in thick and fast from Brackenfell. Slow ball again for UCT, but funnily enough, it is Brackenfell that's decided not to commit to the rucks. As we see the loose head prop, Lutando Woyi again making a nuisance of himself on the attack. Outside centre, Ghazi spreading the ball now to the full, to Kloosman, right, left winger. Unfortunately, Brackenfell, the 7 flanker, Spreeth just a bit quick there off the mark, putting himself in an offside position. UCT trying to opt for the quick tap and go. If you just joined us here on the live stream on YouTube, welcome, good afternoon. It is the home team of Brackenfell welcoming the visitors UCT Ikeys here in the northern suburbs at Brackenfell. This live stream, of course, made possible by Kia Brackenfell. And if you enjoy the club rugby wherever you are in the country, please subscribe to Club Rugby Live on the YouTube channel to stay up to date with all the club rugby that we would be live streaming via YouTube. As we see UCT finding touch, putting themselves again in a favourable position. We saw an earlier onslaught from them, and the tight phases not giving them any points thus far. Break in play that provided them with their first point, as we see the inside centre Alan Victor as first receiver. Fly half Hayes right on his back, and the 8th man Creer as Brackenfell makes it very slow. It is again Victor taking it up now into the hands of the flanker McLeod, taking it over the advantage line. Creer now in position. Brackenfell with big double hits trying to stop him. Very close to the try line, but just held up short, but in the process giving away a penalty. That is the team of Brackenfell. Currently UCT putting a lot of pressure on Brackenfell. Brackenfell's defense being tested, and that's certainly something that they would want to change. Try and get their hands on the ball just to show what they're capable of when they can attack. Also, one of the players that has come through Brackenfell from the under-20 side is the outside centre Arno du Plessis. Player definitely to keep an eye out. He's been part of the club from under-20 sides. Brackenfell would want a tight head here to get their hands on the ball. Playing with a rather strong wind down the back. Brackenfell doing extremely well to try and stop the scrum, but UCT just managing to get the edge in that one again. Currently, must say, UCT having the overhand with when it comes to the tight phases like the scrums, securing their lineouts beautifully again in this wind, but definitely the overhand in the scrums. So the tight 5 will definitely try and fix that sooner rather than later, just to take some pressure off their team as well. We've seen about 15 minutes or so in this first half. UCT on the attack right on 5 meters from the try line. Big scrum by UCT as we see Brackenfell popping up again inside centre. First receiver Alan Victor as the ball's being spread to the wing. Big clean out by UCT. Beautiful handling shown by the team of UCT. Interaction in between the forwards and the backs as Brackenfell managed to get the turnaround or turnover ball. It seems like it's the 8th man, Peter Fritz, managed that turnover, getting his hands on the ball, showing good understanding of the law as well, and just again taking the pressure off his team. A bit of relief as we see a beautiful touch finder by John Ray Grobler once again. Certainly having the wind behind him helps a bit, as we see taking play right to the halfway line, about a meter or so from the halfway line. Brackenfell now in position. They will want to keep their hands on this ball just to try and put some pressure on UCT and try and see what they are capable of when it comes to defense. Frank McNish now looking to find his jumper. He doesn't, unfortunately. UCT getting up in front of his jumper, managing to steal that line out. Gain UCT in position, and Daniel Hayes, or David Hayes actually, the fly-off of UCT, and the inside center Victor certainly showing that their intent of this match is to take over and be the playmakers that they are. Unfortunately on that time not getting the pass away. A lot of stop-start at this stage as both these two teams are feeling each other out. This stage, it must be said that with the territorial battle as well as the position, UCT definitely on the up. Still a long way to go. Brackenfell in possession of the ball. Fed by Clayton Daniels. Scrum off of Brackenfell rather. Scrum just crabbing across the field. Referee brings it back. A lot of communication from the Brackenfell side, making sure that everybody knows exactly where to run, where they want the ball. Let's see if Brackenfell manage the first real promising time that they can attack on the halfway line. Having big issues in the scrum, UCT making it extremely difficult for them and winning a penalty in the process. Just wheeling the scrum, unfortunately. This is something that the tight five of Brackenfell, the front row rather of Brackenfell, would want to get together and sort this out. Lehman, McNish and Loubser definitely need to see what they can do as UCT. It is the fly half, David Hayes finding touch, putting play back in the half of Brackenfell. Right on the 10. That's the hooker Alex Castle. Just wanting to make sure that he's in the middle of the line out. Finds his jumper. Again, Brackenfell opting not to contest in that scrum, taken up by Allen. Again, it's Victor. Beautiful run around and wrap around. Beautiful handling skills into the hands of the left winger, Ratabile Low, for 5 more points for the visitors. UCT with some beautiful running lines and handling skills shown in the first quarter of this first half. UCT dominating in every facet of this matchup, as we see the team of Brackenfell just getting together behind the post, and UCT right on the halfway line. They've got their tail feathers up in the air, taking the scoreline now to 12-0 after about 20 minutes or so. Kicking against the wind. Stepping up, keeping it high. Unfortunately, just short as well as to the right of the poles. Like I said, kicking into the wind. But the scoreline remains 12-0 in favour of the visitors, UCT, here at Brackenfell. Once again, thank you very much for Kia Brackenfell making it possible to live stream this game on YouTube, on Club Rugby Live. As I said, if you want to share this link, please feel free to do so with any and everybody. Again, a high restart by the fly half Grobler, trying to give his teammates the best possible opportunity and chance of regaining position. Brackenfell starved of position. UCT doing extremely well to maintain position as the ball's being spread down the back line. Beautiful handoff by the fullback Makaza, but eventually the left wing of Brackenfell, Lance Jurgens, managed to get his man. UCT showing a lot of promise once they attack the line and defensive line of Brackenfell, running hard with the ball, running hard off the ball as well. Beautiful running lines, and the passes right in front of the players, giving them the best possible opportunity to run full pace and into the gap as well. A lot of running and moving around by Brackenfell, making it difficult, but picked up from the beat laces. That is Frank McNish doing extremely well to maintain possession for his team. It's the 8-man Pieter Fritz running hard into contact. Brackenfell now in position. The left winger Lance Jurgens finding themselves in midfield, trying to set up another phase. It is the hooker McNish taking it up over the advantage line. Beautiful passing by the scrum half of Brackenfell. Hard tackles coming in from the outside centre of UCT, Ghazi, but in the process just on the offside line, testing the referee to see if they pick it up. Assistant referees doing a beautiful job to calling the offside lines currently in this matchup. Brackenfell just not managing to get out of their own half. Once or twice they managed to get out, and let's see, this is the first real opportunity there. They're getting ever so close to the 22 of UCT. Lineouts have been a bit of an issue for Brackenfell. Let's see if McNish manages to get his jumper this time, set something up. Will they go for the drive? A lot of forwards standing in the back line, again tapped off to McNish, but a break by the scrum of Clayton Daniels, setting it up closer to half in the middle of the field. Now UCT making a nuisance of themselves at that ruck, and UCT managed to turn over the ball as they're going to boot, trying to relieve some pressure straight down the throat of the full-back Silverstone. Relative quiet quarter of the match. Again is Grobler stepping on the inside, back to his forwards, trying to set up the phases, slowing it up, a pick up and drive, but unfortunately not being able to get away the pass as the ball's being spread now to the tight head. Loubser being driven back in the tackle. This is Brackenfell's opportunity to show what they have on the attack as they gather on in beautiful offload, keeping the ball alive, setting up the phases. Quick ball, but unfortunately the referee just stops play. But Brackenfell, all of a sudden, once they have possession of the ball, look like they want to attack, setting up the phases, trying to create gaps, opting for the penalty, going to poles. Just trying to get some points on the scoreboard. Like I said, it's about 25 minutes have passed in this matchup of the first half. Of course, the home field of Brackenfell playing with the wind. So let's see if he managed to float this one in the wind over the crossbar. It's the inside centre, Dan Aspling, that'll take aim at the post. Seen some promising breaks from the likes of Jandre Grobler, fly half of Brackenfell, as it is Aspling managing to convert that penalty successful, taking the scoreline now to 12-3 in favour of the visitors. But that'll give Brackenfell some sort of confidence, showing that once they have ball in hand and keep possession, setting up phases, they can force the penalties, and through a boot like Aspling, playing with the wind, might just be able to close the gap. Beautiful, brought under control and getting the pass away. Now Brackenfell seems like they want to partake in this game. Running hard into the ruck is the UCT players. Scrum off and Clayton Daniels opting to go up to the air. Seems like it was the right decision as UCT struggled to bring that one under control. putting themselves under a lot of pressure now. Brackenfell hitting the rucks hard. Beautiful passing again. Interplay between forwards and backs alike. UCT again finding a gap. It is through the inside centre. Alan Victor again with a beautiful pass, getting the passes away in contact, setting up phases, breaking the defensive line of Brackenfell. Just seems that first time tackles is not there from Brackenfell. A lucky break this time for Brackenfell, but it's the likes of the left winger Lance Jurgens through not giving up, managing to turn over the ball at the contact position. But Brackenfell will have to make sure that they get those first time tackles in. As UCT, this was one of a number of line breaks that they managed. Low kick coming from the fly half of Brackenfell. Jandre Grobler. If it seems like I have not mentioned a couple of the backline players' names of Brackenfell, that is because they have not yet had their hands on the ball. As UCT has dominated this game, first half of the first half, as Brackenfell now on the attack, setting up a drive. Beautiful scissors running there. Jurgens coming in hard into contact again. Brackenfell now showing some promise. Hard running by the loose head prop. Warren Lehman being driven back in the defense from UCT. Now trying to get over the advantage line. Again coming down the left hand side. Hard running by inside centre Dan Aspling. Brackenfell now definitely forcing the areas from UCT while they have hand on ball. Let's see if Aspling again goes to post. Not yet indicated. Referee just making sure that UCT understands exactly where they are giving away penalties, and without hesitation Dan Aspling says, I want the ball. This right from the halfway line. The wind blowing strongly from behind him. That's favourable, and he's but still has a job to do. Brackenfell again showing a lot of promise while and when they have their hands on ball. UCT still maintaining good defensive structures in the process of Brackenfell throwing everything at them. Seen a lot of hard running, but UCT definitely driving them back in the contact and making a nuisance of themselves at the ruck. Aspling now keeping it low, using the wind, and successful. 2 out of 2, taking the scoreline now to 6-12 difference. Now only 6 points, like I said. Maybe this is a tactic of Brackenfell in the first half, putting a lot of pressure once, then when they have hands on ball, forcing the areas from UCT and through the trusted boot of Aspling, Dan Aspling, inside centre of Brackenfell, closing the gap now to just 6 points. Brackenfell seem to have found the rhythm, as we see Daniels putting it up, again targeting the player that had some issues. Hard defense coming in from Brackenfell. Again the first time tackle not coming in the process turning it over. Brackenfell now seems to have a bit of confidence, as we see some beautiful handling by backs and forwards alike from Brackenfell as they're setting up the phases. Spread into the hands of Ikey Swart, setting up yet another phase. They've got numbers down the right hand side. They need the ball to be spread. Beautiful defensive lines and structures by UCT. Now coming back to the left hand side, just uncertain of who the recipient of the ball must be, but a beautiful kick by the fullback of Brackenfell, Trent Siverston. He knows exactly how big this field is. Beautiful touch finder. Now Brackenfell all of a sudden with a lot of confidence, attacking, making sure that they make UCT turn around and work on the defensive lines. UCT certainly very fast out of the blocks when this matchup started, but slowly but surely Brackenfell managed to get possession of the ball. Seems more like an even number now in terms of position as well as territory. Brackenfell starting to find their rhythm and coming back. UCT managed to go back of the line out, kicking against the wind, straight down the throat of the right winger Kwagga van Staden into finding his fullback Trent. Beautiful offload by the fly of Jandre Grobler, but some big heads coming in, and the referee deemed that high tackle, rightfully so. All of a sudden again, Aspling pointing, taking the ball from his teammates, saying, let's close this gap to 3 points. Hopefully not commentator's curse on that one. We've got about 10 minutes left in the first half. Like I said, UCT definitely coming out quick out of the gates, taking control and putting a lot of pressure on Brackenfell right from the start. But Brackenfell definitely clawing and fighting their way back in this first half and matchup, showing that they are not yet ready to roll over. Dan has been stepping forward. Beautiful strike, trusty boot of the man, closing the gap to just 3 points, taking the scoreline now to 12-9 in favor of the visitors. Like I said, through the trusty boot, right boot of inside center Dan Aspling. But Brackenfell certainly showing that once they have the possession, getting into UCT's half, they can do anything. So UCT will definitely have to look at their discipline. Beautifully brought under control, brought down with the ball as well. Grobler once again getting his team out of his 22, but not finding touch. Now UCT on the attack. This back line showed that they are dangerous on the attack, with some evasive running, being driven back in the defense. Beautiful defensive lines by Brackenfell, making it difficult for UCT at that ruck. Some forwards finding themselves in the back line of UCT, but tackles being brushed off by the right winger Liam Kleusman, taking play right to the middle of the field. But now the heavies of Brackenfell trying to keep him up. Now the loose head prop with a bit of a goose step and a side step like. UCT unfortunately not getting the passes clean away now, but Brackenfell certainly making it very difficult for them on the breakdowns. It is UCT trying to play down the tram lines there on the left-hand side. Quick tap and go by fly half David Hayes, whose name we haven't mentioned in a couple of minutes now because Brackenfell was on the attack. Now UCT back in possession of the ball, taking it up in the midfield. Hayes finding himself now. Beautiful floating pass into the hands of the 8th man, but unfortunately just drifting forward. It is Tariq Creer down the touchline, but he's being brought back to a scrum, and this is where UCT has dominated. The majority of the scrums they've dominated. Let's see if Brackenfell can strike back. Looks like Warren Lehman is being replaced. Indeed so, Warren Lehman being replaced by number 17, Brandon Beekman. Just before halftime, interesting replacement, substitution being made, being some fresh legs on just on the scrum now. Let's see if Beekman on the loose head now can do something against the tight head. Immediately UCT putting him under a lot of pressure, and Brackenfell popping up from the pressure, but UCT certainly showing their dominance in the scrum. Immediately targeting the replacement, Brandon Beekman. That's the tight head, Keegan Glade from UCT. Just welcoming him to the field. unfortunately losing his slip, and that is the replacement loosehead prop, Brandon Beekman, giving away a penalty, should I say second scrum after the first reset. UCT finding touch, taking play to the 22. Right on the 22. Brackenfell will need to contest for this ball. The sun right in the eyes of the players. Beautiful throw by the hooker Alex Castle, finding his jumper. Now setting up a drive. Brackenfell in 6s and 7s as UCT gains momentum in this drive, in this maul. Now looking to find a beautiful running line by the 8th man, finding the inside centre for his second try. It's Alan Victor, but a set phase that gave the back line the opportunity to attack with beautiful running lines from that driving maul, from securing the ball from the line out. And like I said, it is the inside centre Alan Victor for his second try, from beautiful offload to his 8th man Tariq Creer, playing back to Alan Victor, creating that try, and just finding the half gaps in the defensive lines of Brackenfell. But the first time tackles definitely showing or causing a bit of a problem for Brackenfell, creating and making it easier for the team of UCT to get over the advantage line with momentum, and through some beautiful interplay they managed to get the ball offloaded, running hard off the ball into the half gap. Scoreline now 19-9, the gap now again 10 points as we're getting ever so close to half-time. It is the fly half. Grobler restarting play again with a high kickoff. Beautiful kickoff. Straight down the throat of Ghazi, the outside centre of UCT. High tackle from Brackenfell, gifting UCT a penalty once again. Brackenfell certainly making it difficult for themselves. What a beautiful touch finder by the fly half, David Hayes of UCT, taking play again back on the half of Brackenfell. And the back line of Brackenfell with I think we've only mentioned up to the inside centre, Dan Aspling, Arno du Plessis, Kwagga van Staden and Trent Stevenson not getting their hands on the ball, because UCT has starved Brackenfell of possession, as we see a beautiful break by the scrum half Kyle Bowman once again into the hands of Hayes. It's that inside centre whose name we've mentioned a couple of times, Alan Victor, making a nuisance of himself when it comes to the attacking side and testing Brackenfell's defensive lines. 21. 22. UCT want to end this first half on a high, finding touch, taking play just in front of the outside, or rather the outside of the 22 meter or so outside of Brackenfell's 22. Brackenfell's defensive lines will be tested. UCT certainly finding their jumpers in the line out, but this one just drifted skew. Brackenfell with a lucky break there. The first skew line out from UCT. Let's see if Brackenfell have one last throw at the dice of this first half, just to close this gap once again. They need to get points right now before the break of half-time, just for a bit of a confidence booster when it comes to second half. UCT has dominated the scrums, but Brackenfell seems like they have found their rhythm now. Penalty to Brackenfell. Just slipping is the tight head of UCT, Keegan Glade. Brackenfell will definitely see if they can find touch. Important kick this for Grobler, taking play. Beautiful kick using the wind, taking play just outside of the 22 of UCT. Beautiful touch finder by Grobler. Now Brackenfell will have to secure this line out. It has been troublesome for them so far. They've had a difficult time when it comes to the tight phases of the game, when scrums and lineouts again going to the back, but this time finding his jumper. Now Brackenfell going with a rolling maul, trying to suck in the defenders. Whole back line of Brackenfell down the left of the side, as we see a sniping break by one of the forwards, thinking that he has the opportunity to close the gap. Now going to the right hand side. Don't have any numbers in actual fact, UCT, with the defensive overlap. Now taking it up straight to in the middle of the field, managing to keep his jersey as well as his ball. Unfortunately, that scissors run came to a abrupt halt by handling error, but the referee is going to bring them back for a penalty. Brackenfell won that penalty by a beautiful rolling maul that they set up from beautiful line out. Again, it is the fly of Jandre Grobler finding touch on the 5 meters line of UCT on their own try line. Now Brackenfell, they need to score. This is vital time for Brackenfell. McNish again going to the back of the line out, but no communication with the overthrow. UCT immediately on the attack, but unfortunately UCT just tossing away the ball. Brackenfell again in position, diving over the whitewash, but just brought down short. Brackenfell need the ball now. There's an overlap, a bit of an overlap on the right hand of the side, falling over the white line. Try time, Brackenfell. They had to work hard for that one. A bit of a lucky break for them. Again, the lineouts causing a lot of issues for themselves when it comes to the lineout. Seems like one of the hard-working forwards managed to dot down the ball for 5 points, closing the gap ever so slightly. And that's been the story of this first half. Brackenfell had to continuously try and close the gap between the two teams. UCT coming out of the blocks very fast, putting a lot of pressure on Brackenfell early, setting up camp in their own half. Brackenfell did not make it easy for themselves by missed tackles, first time tackles, as the conversion is successful. And that brings us to half-time. If you are wanting to get something for the half-time break, make sure that you return here on YouTube by live streaming from Club Rugby Live. Thanks to Kia Brackenfell, it is made possible. And if you want to share this live to your friends and family, make sure that you do it now so that you join us for the second half coming up right here in Brackenfell in the northern suburbs in Cape Town. Welcome back to the second half here, home ground of Brackenfell Rugby Club in the northern suburbs, as we're getting ready to start the second half. Brackenfell with a beautiful try just before break and taking the score to 16-19 in favour of the visitors, as we see the visiting team UCT restarting. A huge up and under by Brackenfell, now playing against the wind. At the favour of the wind behind their backs in the first half. Now UCT, let's see if they are going to play the territorial game and make Brackenfell turn to field kicks. UCT being bothered in that line out by Mornay. Immediately, right from the go, Brackenfell on the attack, and as we see the replacement hooker on the field, Llewellyn van Blerk, taking play to halfway line, getting over the advantage line. Beautiful passing, making sure that they get the pass away into the left-hand winger's hands. Lance Jurgens, who's seen a bit more action than his counterpart on the right wing of Brackenfell. We see some replacements being brought on by Brackenfell. We'll run through them, as immediately UCT stopping that attack by Brackenfell. As I mentioned, a couple of replacements brought onto the field by Brackenfell. As we see just before halftime, we saw the likes of Brandon Beekman, number 17, on the loose head, replacing Warren Lehman. Now on the field, replaced Frank McNish is the replacement hooker. It is Llewellyn van Blerk that is on the field now. And I'm just casting my eyes over the field to see if I'm missing any other replacements at this stage. It seems like it's just the two replacements on the side of Brackenfell. UCT keeping their replacements on the bench for now. Like I said, UCT now with the wind behind their backs, as it is the fly of David Hayes finding touch, taking play to the 22, just outside the 22 of Brackenfell. UCT certainly showing them when it comes to these lineouts, certainly a team no stranger to the winds, knowing how the wind can blow in Green Mile. Beautiful lineout back on the inside, back into the hands of the inside centre. Unfortunately, just not managing to get the pass away, but some beautiful evasive running lines from the back line. Set moves. Brackenfell will want to prevent the first half repeating itself. UCT definitely coming out of the blocks very quickly. And again, a bit of a deja vu here with UCT in the half of Brackenfell. We see some of the replacements warming up on both sides now. Scrum's definitely an issue for Brackenfell today. UCT the dominant team when it comes to the tight facets of the game. Basically a new front row for Brackenfell. Only the likes of Boeta Loubser on tight head still on the field. The loose head and hooker replacements. Let's see if this makes a bit of a change for them. More solid scrum from Brackenfell as it wheels. Unfortunately, just again wheeling the scrum on the left-hand side of it is the replacement Brandon Beekman, giving away that penalty this time. Hayes looking for touch. Interesting call. Not going for the 3 points. They want to score tries. They're looking for that bonus point try. Already 3 tries scored in the first half. Alex Castle just making sure of the call. A lot of of movement. Brackenfell again through the lock forward. Morne also getting in front of the jumper there. Turnover ball in the line out for Brackenfell. Beautiful low kick. Trying to counter the wind that he's playing against. Unfortunately, not getting a lot of yards on that kick, but the ball's out nonetheless. Quick breather for Brackenfell. UCT again with a line out on similar spot to where they just had. Now going to the back of the line out, setting up the rolling maul, sucking in the defenders of Brackenfell, wheeling down to the blind side, peeling away, but unfortunately in doing so going offside. Let's see if UCT through Hayes goes to the touchline again. Yes, it seems like he's going to find touchline once again. If you just joined us for the second half here at Brackenfell, welcome. You are of course watching this game via YouTube, thanks to Club Rugby Live being live streamed, and thanks to Kia Brackenfell making it possible for us to stream this game. As we see UCT again trying to drive back Brackenfell, now with a sniping break down the left hand side. And Brackenfell will have to watch their discipline now. Do not want to see a 14-man team on the field against the attacking side of UCT. UCT definitely looking for that fourth try now. That's 9 points in possible penalty kicks that they decided not to take now. Scoreline currently 16-19 in favor of the visiting team UCT. Just making sure of the numbers in the line out. Let's see if UCT goes to the back again. Indeed they do. They've found the recipe of success when it comes to lineouts. Again with the driving maul, trying to peel away, sucking in the defenders of Brackenfell. Getting ever so close to the try line. The referee indicates just down short of the try line. A lot of bodies in on that ruck. Brackenfell trying their utmost best to prevent them. Seems like Brackenfell has turned over the ball, but in the process again illegally doing so. And now let's see if the referee is running out of patience. He's not yet reaching for the pocket, which is a good thing. Just having a stern word with the captain Marcel Roux, flank forward of Brackenfell. This will be a team warning. Brackenfell doing well so far in spite of the penalties that they've given away to prevent that try from being scored. UCT throwing everything and the kitchen sink at them, testing the defensive lines of the rolling maul. Roux just liaising the message to his troops. Let's see if UCT again goes through the touchline, or if they opt for the scrum this time. Seems like the referee is warning both teams now, just making sure that everybody understands the laws. Penalty, David Hayes, ball in hand, again going for the touchline. Again going to the back of the line out. As I said, recipe for success at this stage for them at the lineouts. Wheeling, turning, Brackenfell doing their best to try and break the momentum and break up that drive. Indeed, they do so. UCT still not giving up. Unfortunately, just being bothered there by the defense. Now the ball is being spread to the back line and the outside center. Ghazi breaking back against the run of play. Pick up and drive down the left hand side. Two pick up and drives now, trying to suck in the defenders, creating gaps on the shoulders of the players. Driving forward, brought down just short of the try line now. And this will be seen as a victory for Brackenfell's defensive structures, preventing UCT from scoring a try after UCT has thrown everything at them. 4 penalties that was awarded to UCT. UCT opting to go for the touchline every single time, thus coming away with nothing, not 1 point to show of their time in this 22 of Brackenfell. This will certainly be seen as a victory for Brackenfell. They'll gain a lot of confidence from this. And like I said, you are joining us on YouTube, live streaming this club rugby match between UCT and Brackenfell here in Brackenfell. Thanks to Kia Brackenfell making it possible for us at Club Rugby Live to stream this matchup. If you want every and anybody to watch Club Rugby in the Western Cape, please feel free to share the link to your family and friends to make sure that they do not miss any of the Club Rugby matches here in the Western Cape and Boland area. Thanks to Club Rugby Live streaming all of the Club Rugby matches. We know there's a lot of Club Rugby in Western Cape, a lot of points to visit and see. We're doing our best. Brackenfell now in possession of the ball. They'll feed the scrum. UCT with a lot of dominance over Brackenfell when it comes to the scrums. Let's see if Brackenfell managed to give their backline solid ball as UCT goes in with everything in that scrum, but in the process giving away a penalty, and Brackenfell certainly coming away the victors in that scrum. They will draw a lot of confidence from that, because this is something that they have struggled with throughout the day when it comes to scrums. It seems like the replacements of the likes of Llewellyn van Blerk as well as Brendan Beertman certainly bring a bit more energy and power and physicality to the scrums of Brackenfell. As we see Jandre Grobler again try and relieving some pressure for his team. Not the best of days when it comes to lineouts for Brackenfell. Let's see if they take a page out of the book of UCT, go to the back of the lineout, or do they secure right in front into the safe hands of Morne Oberholzer or Ikey Swart. Faking to the back. Now it is Smith wanting, but UCT getting up, stealing the ball again. In possession is the team of UCT. Beautiful tackles coming in to stop that move right in its tracks. But UCT is on the attack once again. The story of the day. David Hayes, fly-off of UCT, just making sure that everybody knows and understands. We see the likes of the tight head Keegan Bale and Matthew Grobler lock forward, and tight head pop in the back line of UCT, as well as the flanker Jason McLeod and the 8th man Tariq Creer in the back line. So not a lot of pace, but a lot of power in the back line of UCT had that ball come out to the back line. But Brackenfell managed to stop that, and they're back in possession of the ball. As we see the shadows getting a bit longer on the field, temperatures dropping, but the action's hot on the field between these two teams. 16-19 in favor of the visitors. As we see Brackenfell feeding the ball. Bit of a secure scrum by Brackenfell, but unfortunately just popping up, and UCT coming away with a penalty. Quick tap and go, the ball being spread wide, spinning and swerving out of the defense, managing to keep their hand on the ball, but in the process losing it forward, gifting Brackenfell position as Brackenfell is trying to fight out of their own 22, playing against the wind. So kicking is even more difficult now as the breeze picks up as well. But nonetheless, Grobler opting for the safe option, looking up to the touch line. But the threat of UCT is still there. For the past 5 minutes or so. We have not seen Brackenfell outside of their own half. Never mind, outside of their own half, their own 22. They've been forced into this position. UCT doing extremely well to put a lot of pressure on them. Brackenfell not helping themselves by making it difficult for themselves in the tight facets of the game when it comes to scrum and lineouts. UCT now in possession of the ball. UCT finding success in going to the back of their lineout. Let's see if they continue that route. Looking for the lock forward, Matthew Grobler. This time they go 4 in the front. Hayes hard running by the 8th man, Tariq Creer, taking it over the advantage line. UCT on the attack. Brackenfell with beautiful defense there. A lot of numbers in the midfield for UCT as the ball's being spread to the left winger, Ratabile Low. Unfortunately, just not being able to get a clean ball to him. Now going back to the right side of the field, it is Matthew taking it up in the midfield, setting up phases. Hayes with an interesting tactic, going for the boot. Could have worked out beautifully. Unfortunately for the left winger, not being able to pick it up from the bootlaces, but luckily for Brackenfell, they found touchline. Getting a bit of a breather as we reach the finishing of the first 15 minutes of the second half. Scoreline still 19-16. No points scored in the second half yet. UCT certainly trying their utmost best to get some points in the second half. Also looking for that 4th try, which will give them the bonus point in this matchup. Still a while to go, so let's see if Brackenfell can turn this match around. They will need to score next. They would have had a lot of confidence after scoring just on the break of half time. As we see some replacements coming on, it looks like Carl Mangold on the field for the tight head prop Boeta Loubser. So now an entire new front row for Brackenfell. As we see Boeta Loubser leaving the field due to an injury. Looks like it might be a blood injury. Unfortunately, just taking his eye off the ball. Again, gifting UCT possession in the red zone of their own half, as we see Brackenfell swamping the attacking team, trying to stop the movements before they even started. As we see yet another break in tackles by the loose forward, loose head prop, Lutando Woyu running hard, and UCT unfortunately with a pass going forward. Again, that 4th try evading them for now. Brackenfell ringing on the changes now. Indeed, it has been confirmed Boeta Loubser is down with a blood injury. And it seems like Hugo Swart is also being replaced by Vincent van Dijk on the field now, on the lock forward. Brackenfell to feed the scrum. UCT again making it extremely difficult for Brackenfell in the scrums, winning a penalty in the process. They are demolishing the forwards of Brackenfell when it comes to scrums. Let's see if UCT again goes for the touchline. Do they go for the penalty? No, they opt for the scrum. One of their strengths for today. Let's see if they can go for the pushover try. Are they going for a penalty try? Or are they just looking to commit those tight forwards and forwards in general of Brackenfell playing to the blind side? As we see the right winger of UCT right on the touchline on the far right side of the field. Again a penalty to UCT as Brackenfell slips, lose their binding, gifting away silly penalties now. Brackenfell needs to be very careful because the referee can see this as cynical play as well, because of the fact that Brackenfell suffers or struggles in the scrums, deciding to take the fall, which I don't think they'll be doing, but you never know. Like I said, the right winger Liam Kleusman right on the touchline in the far side of the field. Let's see if they do go blind as UCT continues their dominance in the scrum, going for the pushover try. Advantage to UCT once again. They do indeed go to the right hand side, but the scrum half Carl Bowman does not need his right winger as he dives over the whitewash for UCT's fourth try and the bonus point try. As the scoreline now moves to 24-16 in favour of the visitors. Brackenfell players, a lot of tired, hurt bodies out there. They have been dominated in this first half of the second half. They've been pinned down in their own half. They've been struggling to get out of their own 22. With a couple of lucky breaks, they managed to get their hands on the ball through penalties, but playing against the wind, very difficult to kick your way out of your own half, and 22 UCT putting a lot of pressure on them. It's the scrum half Carl Bowman, unsuccessful in the conversion. The scoreline thus stays unchanged. 16-24 in favour of the visitors. As we see some replacements on for UCT, Mika Schubert on the field now as well. Number 19 for UCT, also number 20 for UCT, Willem Jacobus van der Walt on the field. UCT opting for their replacements now as we see Brackenfell finally through a kick from UCT with their hands on the ball. Sniping break by one of the Brackenfell players now, running hard on the shoulder of getting the offload to the left winger, Lance Jurgens, for 5 points. Desperately needed 5 points for his team. Beautiful sniping break by the number 6 flanker of Brackenfell and captain, putting up his hands with a break on the left hand side. Marcel Roux finding the pace and power from Lance Jurgens, left winger from Brackenfell, taking the scoreline now to 21-24, and that is how quickly this game can change. Just a break in concentration from UCT, and as we've seen throughout the day, a confident kicker in Dan Aspling, who has a 100% kicking record thus far. Let's see if he can manage to take this scoreline to 23-24. Kicking against the wind. first test for the day. A lot of pressure from UCT on that conversion kick. Unsuccessful. The scoreline stays 21-24, but Brackenfell will certainly take a lot of confidence out of that break in play. And like I said, the captain Marcel Roux putting up his hands, leading his charges with that break, and Jurgens with 5 much needed points, as we also see the likes of Skalk van der Merwe, number 20 for Brackenfell, on the field. Couple of replacements on UCT as well, as I mentioned, number 19 Mika Schubert, as well as number 20 Willem Jacobus van der Walt. And all of a sudden it seems like Brackenfell has found a newfound energy. The replacement scrum half Chester Creer also on the field for Brackenfell. He lifted the tempo. Penalty to Brackenfell. Like I said, Brackenfell playing against the wind, but the likes of Grobler will find touch nonetheless, making sure that it's out, taking play into the half of UCT just over the 10-meter line. We see a lot of forwards in the back line of Brackenfell. Let's see if they set it up in midfield. First, they have to make sure of this line out. Llewellyn van Blerk. Let's see if he finds his jumper. Taking a long time. He does indeed find the likes of Morne Oberholzer. Now back in the hands of the replacement hooker Llewellyn, getting over the advantage line, busting over tackles. Now the ball being spread. Dan Aspling showing that he can run as well as kick into the replacement, and Ruan Hasse also on the field now for Brackenfell. The little sniping scrum of Chester Creer now into the hands of replacement prop Brandon Beekman. Brackenfell seems to want to attack it into the hands of the captain Marcel Roux. Unfortunately holding on to the ball just too long. But what promising play by the team of Brackenfell that showed they are wanting to lift the momentum and tempo of this game. UCT almost seems a bit shocked right now. As I mentioned, number 23 Ruan Hasse also on the field now for Brackenfell. As we see David Hayes finding touch, taking play to just over the 10-meter line, still in the half of the UCT. Seems like the replacements that came on for Brackenfell certainly lifted the tempo, as we see the scrum, the fly half Jandre Grobler being replaced, and onto the field is the short stock Bokkie Jandre Kleinans. Jandre Kleinans on the field now. Ball being spread. Unfortunately not getting the pass away is the fullback Makaza, but he was brought down with a beautiful tackle from Brackenfell. It is Dan Aspling with a beautiful tackle on the fullback of UCT, stopping that promising move Makaza. Had he managed to get that ball away, Brackenfell would have been in trouble once again, but all of a sudden Brackenfell lifted the tempo of this match with a couple of minutes left in this second half. The replacement scrum half Chester Creer, number 21 on Brackenfell. He wants to lift the tempo. Also Arno du Plessis had a quiet game on outside centre. He's moved to wing now as Ruan Hasse took the field on outside centre. UCT, a lot of dominance, but Brackenfell standing their man in the scrum, but unfortunately again losing the bind is the replacement prop Charles Mangold. Now all of a sudden the guys are just making sure that everybody knows exactly where the festivities after this matchup will take place. Just sharing their telephone numbers, making sure that they know what their social media handles are to send out the friend requests. This has been an humdinger as we see the shadows over the field now. crowd is also getting in on the action now. Just making sure that they voice their opinion for what it's worth. In the end, the penalty stays with UCT as David Hayes will be looking to find touch again. A name that we've mentioned throughout the first half is two-time try scorer Alan Victor, the inside centre of UCT. Had a relative quiet second half, but I must say that it seems like UCT changed their game plan a bit, moved the play to the forwards, keeping in possession of the ball, setting up driving mauls, as UCT now again with a successful line out through the replacement hooker Troy Fisher, running hard midfield, now putting the ball, trying to make Brackenfell turn around into the hands of Kwagga van Staden, who certainly showed that he can be dangerous once he has ball in hand. Beautiful handling by Brackenfell, brushed off the defender, setting up yet another phase. Chester Creer trying to get the quick ball, short ball, hard tackles coming in on the likes of Skalk van der Merwe, who manages to knock the ball on, unfortunately stopping play. We've got about 10 minutes left in this matchup. It's been, like I said, a tightly fought contest. Every time UCT opened the gap a bit, through beautiful play and a breakaway try, Brackenfell managed to close the gap once again, and through the successful and trusty boot of the inside centre of Brackenfell, Dan Aspling, managed to keep the scoreboard ticking and keep the gap very close. So let's see if Brackenfell, with their tails up slightly, with a lot of confidence through that try. The scoreline currently 24-21 in favour of the visitors. Like I said earlier throughout the day, the second teams of these two teams took the field, and Brackenfell's second team victorious 34-12 over UCT. The under-20s of UCT victorious over the under-20s of Brackenfell with a scoreline of 57-13. So this one is coming down to the wire. The current scoreline 24-21 in favour of UCT. Like I said, about 10 minutes give or take left of this matchup, as we see one of the players receiving a bit of attention. Seems like it is the captain, Marcel Roux, who will be leaving the field. Brackenfell just making sure that the replacement is taking the field, coming on for the captain Marcel Roux, who will be leaving the field. He certainly led his side with everything that he had. Seems like there's a bit of an issue, as Brackenfell does not have a replacement flanker for captain Marcel Roux. They used all of their replacements for that specific position, but they are bringing back the hooker. Seems like the hooker McNish will be slotting down. In actual fact, it seems like it is the tight head prop, Boeta Loubser, coming back from his blood injury earlier. He'll be slotting down on tight head once again, as they'll 15 men on the field now once again. Getting ready to restart play. UCT has shown their dominance in the scrums. Brackenfell trying their utmost best as we see a lot of players popping up. The referee blowing hard on his whistle with a penalty as he says Brackenfell is scrumming up. That is the reason why the players are popping up now. As we see the fly half of UCT once again trying to find touch. Taking play 5 meters outside of the try line of Brackenfell. Brackenfell showed that they will defend their try line with everything they have. UCT going to the middle of the line out this time to number 19 Mika Schubert. Again with the driving maul, Brackenfell showed that they know how to stop this. They're making it very difficult for UCT, making UCT work extremely hard to cross the try line of Brackenfell, and in the process they do falling over, extending their lead to 29-21, making the gap 8 points once again. With very little playing time, Brackenfell will need to score very quickly after this try that has been conceded. Let's see if scrum of Carl Bowman is successful with this kick. In actual fact, it seems like David Hayes has taken over the kicking responsibilities, as it seems like Bowman has been replaced, left the field, as number 22 Lizanne Davis took the field for a couple of minutes, getting his part of the action as the conversion is successful, taking the scoreline to 31-21. The difference now 10 points. Brackenfell will need to score twice. They need to score twice and they need to score quickly if they are still wanting to have a say in this matchup. They will not go down easily. Quick restart by Dan Aspling with a deep restart into the hands of number 20 Willem Jacobus van der Walt as he's breaking the tackles, but Ruan Hasse brings him to a stop as the crowd pleads for a high tackle. The referee does indeed award a penalty for the high tackle. Brackenfell will need to show composure and keep their cool, maintain their discipline. Fly half, Hayes finding touch. Again, story of this half, pinning back down Brackenfell back in their own half once again. The one time that Brackenfell managed to get out of their half, they managed to score a try through left winger Lance Jurgens with a sniping break down the left hand side. One could say it was slightly against the run of play. UCT trying something else, going to the front of the line out with a dummy pass on the inside by Hayes, being brought down to ground. Number 20 Willem Jacobus van der Walt making a nuisance of himself ever since he came on the field. Another replacement in Schubert taking it up. Ball taken back to the right hand side, beautiful offload by some of the tight forwards as we see the ball being knocked out of the hands of UCT, but the referee bringing them back for a penalty, again for a high tackle. Now it seems like UCT wants to put this game away as the T's being brought onto the field. Indeed, Hayes is opting for the penalty kick. They want to take away the game from Brackenfell, as he's also just making sure that he's taking his time with this kick, making sure that the clock's running down as well. So a very smart decision from UCT. He is also kicking with a slight breeze behind his back, as I said earlier. It's a straight long kick on the 10-meter line, right in the middle of the field. Stepping forward, just pulling it to the right of the post. Scoreline stays 21-31, difference of 10 points. Aspling looking for a quick start into the hands of the replacement prop. Now it's Arno, whose name we have not mentioned a lot of times today, but he's taking the game on. The replacement hooker Luhelen van Blerk now on the charge. Brackenfell needs to score with a dummy by the right winger Kwagga van Staden, who finds himself in the midfield. Brackenfell certainly lifting the tempo now. Like I said, they need to score, they want to score, they need to score twice. It is Spreet with a dummy pass. The referee just stopping play, bringing them back for a penalty kick. The replacement scrum of Chester Creer wanting to tap quickly, but Dan Aspling will find the touchline out on the far side of the field, but he does not. The kick stays in field, the kick is not out. This is a problem for Brackenfell as UCT again on the attack, but the ball ripped out of his hands in contact as Chester Creer now on the attack for Brackenfell with a turnover. Ball beautifully ripped out of contact by Brackenfell, again trying to break the fringes. It is the man that came back from a blood replacement, Boeta Loupsher, taking it up, getting over the advantage line. Chester playing on the right hand. Kleinens unfortunately just losing the ball in contact, but the referee will bring them back. It was advantage to Brackenfell. We've got about 5 minutes or so give and take left in this game. 3 minutes indeed. Aspling again looking to find touch as we see the replacement Ruan Hasse, replacement outside centre, receiving some attention. Seems like it's his hamstring taking play into the 22 of UCT, and Brackenfell will desperately be looking to score. Is this the last throw at the dice to close the gap, to come away with a bonus point, at least with regards to tries being scored and losing with less than 7 points? The referee just making sure that all the numbers are in the line out, everybody is there that needs to be there, as we see the fullback of UCT Makaza being replaced as well by Robbie Davis. Brackenfell trying a rolling ball now, but the ball is being spread. Unfortunately, a bad pass from Chester, but the referee deems it backwards. Kleinens not being able to pick it up. Luhelen breaking away on his own, trying to get over the advantage line. UCT slow to get away. Ball now in the hands of Van der Merwe. Van der Merwe taking a UCT first receiver, stealing the ball, turnover, beautiful counter ruck by Brackenfell, but it seems like it's a bit hot-headed. And seems like tempers are starting to fly up a bit now. UCT managed to steal the ball through beautiful counter rucking. It is David Hayes that will be finding touch once again. Unfortunately, the kick also not out, being played back by Kwagga van Staden, now on the charge, trying to look for the gap, trying to break the defense of UCT. Beekman trying to dive over the ruck there. Beautiful cleaning by Brackenfell, advantage to Brackenfell, slowing down the ball by UCT. Kwagga van Staden making a nuisance of himself in this last couple of minutes of this matchup. Kleinens, Aspling, beautiful offload to Spreet, now to Arno. Beautiful offloading by Brackenfell, but unfortunately just tossing the ball away with that last offload. Brackenfell certainly showing that they are not going to give up. Kleinens with a beautiful dummy. Aspling wanted the ball. Chester with a slow ball. Loubser. Beautiful defense by UCT. Stopping the big man in his tracks. Mangold. With a toss away of the ball, but into the hands of almost intercepted by UCT. The referee giving him a yellow card for knocking the ball down. So that is the replacement player, Lizon Davids. That'll be his match. Yellow card for knocking down the ball. The scoreline still 21-31. So this is the last throw of the dice by Brackenfell, taking play 10 meters away from the 22 of UCT. Brackenfell slowly walking towards the line out now. Kleinans on fly half, making sure that his troops knows exactly. Beautiful throw-in by Llewellyn van Blerk, finding Mornay Oberholzer. Now slowly but surely getting momentum in the driving maul. The referee says they need to use it. Spieth making sure that his headgear is on rather than getting over the advantage line. Llewellyn van Blerk, hard runner into contact, making sure that he gets over the advantage line. Kleinans Asplin trying to get the offload again, managed to retain possession, beautifully done. Creer now, Kleinans being rushed on the defense. Chester needs to get the ball out quickly now. Running hard into contact is Beekman. UCT with a counter ruck. Asplin with a floating pass, but unfortunately Jurgens is not in position to take the ball, but brushing off the defenders now, being brought down by the second defender. Creer, Mangold, valuable yards over the advantage line. Kleinans now, short pass to Arnu, Duplessis. Creer staying on the right hand side. Hassan now taking it up, making sure that they maintain position, securing the ball. Again, Beekman being driven back in the defense. UCT now making sure that they have their hands on the ball. The referee deems to be legal, but in the process falling over and unfortunately giving away a penalty to Brackenfell. Brackenfell certainly throwing everything they have at UCT. Aspling will be finding touch, so looking up the touch line. Does indeed find touch. And Brackenfell, for the past 5 minutes, have been in territory between the halfway line and the 22 of UCT, in the half of UCT. Brackenfell definitely showed a lot of promise throughout the day, but unfortunately UCT on the day just winning the battle of possession and territory throughout the day. That seems to be the difference for the day, as Brackenfell is trying to set up a driving maul. Llewellyn van Blerk had to break there as they split from the initial maul. Kleinans, Aspling trying to get the ball away to Kleinans once again, but Creer with a fast ball into the hands of Kleinans. Now Jurgens being swamped by 2 defenders. Unfortunately, Brackenfell not getting over the advantage line. Seems like they're playing backwards a bit. Lost about 10 meters in play through beautiful defense, but a break by Aspling now, trying his utmost best to get away from the defenders, not being able to get away the pass, but the support play from Chester Creer is there, trying to roll and get an extra yard or 2. Brackenfell needs quick ball. UCT's defensive lines is well structured. Spieth is trying, shouting for the ball. He's on the right hand side, but he's the only one on the right hand side with no support. Chester with a break. They need quick ball. Slow ball they get into the hands of Kleinans on the inside ball. And a forward pass, unfortunately just overrunning And the referee says that is it. That is the end of this matchup. Exhilarating stuff between these two teams of the home team Brackenfell going down to the visitors 31-21 at the end of the day. But a very tightly fought contest indeed. Brackenfell throwing everything at it. But unfortunately, the visitors are the victors in today's matchup. From us here at Brackenfell, thank you very much for joining us live on YouTube. Remember, you are more than welcome to share the link and share this link to your family and friends to make sure that you stay up to date with live club rugby here in the Western Cape and Boland through Club Rugby Live. That is the YouTube channel. Like and subscribe the page to make sure that you know exactly when the next club rugby matchup is. And also, once again, thank you very much for the sponsor making it possible for us to live stream. That, of course, is Kia Brackenfell. From us here at the northern suburbs, or windy northern suburbs in Brackenfell, thank you very much and goodbye.